Are we? Are we in fact live? Something's happening. Oh, I think something is happening.
Yeah, so I'm not going.
Oh, no. Are we in? Okay, what is happening? Is there anybody that can verify whether this is actually showing anything? Before we start diving in. Matt Bradley Shergy's having some technical difficulties. Driver issues. Rebooting. Yay. Now, let's see. Looks like we've got Matt tooling in.
Hey there, having to do this through the phone. My desktop computer isn't even loading my mouse correctly. So,
Ah, ye old Murphy's Law.
yes. So, but I will have the issue pulled up and stuff. If you could share your screen for,
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to verify that we're actually broadcasting.
um, I can pull that up on the YouTube here. Hold on.
Super chats. It looks like it is, but I don't see anybody commenting.
They might be filing in themselves. Let's see. It says two watching.
Where do you go to see
Now
the?
it says five. It's live. I can see that it's live. I'm just visiting the YouTube page directly,
Oh, is that how you see it? It says we've got one viewer.
which is me, I guess. I get out of there.
Should
But
be.
yeah, it's broadcasting live. So let me. But
Now we
if you
got
can,
now we
if
got
you,
5 times the viewers. Wow. Okay. Yeah, something must have just clicked or something.
something just clicked, so there's a bit of a delay. Why is the mouse not showing after a Windows 11 update? That figures. Okay. So if you can share the screen with the link I sent you with the PDF,
The magazine.
the magazine, we can kind of talk through stuff as you scroll through it. This is not ideal, but this will work good enough. And keep an eye out on the chat.
No, I'm not gonna. How do I? Okay, I'm gonna arrange my windows here.
Yep.
Okay, folks, just be patient.
There's no mouse.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, I had my own little terror when this thing was not broadcasting. I had to go back into uh, Chat GPT and ask it, what the hell's happening?
Yeah, I mean, like Jeff Green,
I didn't know what else to do, and it came up with the answer. So,
all right, Jeff Green, editor at Computer Gaming World, we had him on the show. He mentions when he was doing the Twitch streaming of like the Dark Souls games for a while there, and he mentioned for him, he had to, write out a checklist every time that he had to look at because it's so many steps for this stuff once you really figure it out.
this was weird. I mean, we don't want to bore people with our technical
No,
difficulties, but yeah, I mean, every time we do this, there's like new challenges. So,
it's like the cartoon with the gremlins and the plane or Twilight Zone, right? So yeah, so
all the more reason to go to that Patreon link and freaking pledge because we are working our butts off over here.
absolutely. Well, why don't you set this up, Matt? It's your show, and this magazine idea you got from your brother, and I thought it was a good one.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a little something different. I'm hoping that we get some looks like we got some folks here. Good. So I just want to kind of wax nostalgically with this magazine here. And Matt Bradley Shergy is the one that picked this one out. And what I'm thinking is maybe we'll pick the first couple, and then hopefully some of the
Yeah,
Patreon ones can
sure.
they got a favorite magazine or something. As long as we can get it in the PDF, we should be good to go.
This
Uh,
sounds good, and I can look at the
I
chat
don't-
on this other computer here. So if we get questions, I'll take a look at that. While you're,
so tell me about this magazine, Matt. This is the one that you selected.
it is, yeah. So Sierra Interaction was a magazine whereupon we had you would get the computer games from Sierra Online, and in the box there'd be an issue of this magazine, and maybe you could subscribe to it. I never did. I never knew anyone that did, but this was a full color magazine. Was not as big as like the 300-page PC Gamer behemoths or Computer Gaming World or Amiga magazines back in the day, but it was I would say probably like 50 pages or so. At least half of it was ads, but I think it's a good capsule of what kind of hardware was there at the time, and also Sierra themselves would sell hardware bundles to promote their games, and because Ken Williams, who we've had on Matt Chat with his wife Roberta a while back, I think that was on Valentine's Day a few years ago.
Yeah,
That's a great episode you can check out on the in the archives. But
that
they
was.
were big. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying, I wanted that interview forever, and it happened on
Uh,
Valentine's
I
Day. It
was
was
happy to help with that. But with the King's Quest games in particular always push the edge technologically. So in the magazine, and we might see it in this one, they would advertise like CD-ROM sound card bundle you could buy from Sierra, and they would make a lot of money from that. Like they would do a market, they'd get a markup. They got some deals from the hardware suppliers on it, and we can see right here on this first, looking at the two-page view on the right. I haven't seen one of those in years. That's an external modem.
oh, yeah, that's how you connect. I think that's how what we were trying to connect with earlier and having all the trouble.
Yep. Oh, I'm seeing the chat here, so I can monitor that as I do this. I see Linus is he's here, and same with Malwinius from New York.
Wow,
So
that's a
welcome.
whopping
Uh,
14.4 baud.
14.4 baud. I mean, I what was your first external modem, Matt?
The 2400 baud modem.
2400 was it external then, and you used it for what, school or BBSs or?
Yeah, it's just I would get those computer shopper magazines and we'd try to find the bulletin board systems on a 1-800 number. They really weren't. The trouble with me, I live way out in the boonies, so it was always a long distance call to.
Oh no, that's when that stuff was expensive too. Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of a non-starter, but there was a few like just for fun sites you could go to, like Small Business Administration had one. There was some government educational type sites you could go to. I'm here as well. Yeah, we got Goblin.
Goblin. Oh, love
So what
Goblin.
you're saying is that this magazine came with the game?
Yeah, they would come with the games in the box
Oh,
along with a thick old
the magazine
manual.
couldn't fit inside the box, though, right?
It was not a full size magazine.
Oh, so this only looks like a full
It
page.
looks like a full size, but it's a little smaller. I never saw. It doesn't mean they didn't have a version that was on the magazine shelves, but I would only see it as a pack-in.
Oh,
Around this time, LucasArts had one that they did as like a newspaper on like newsprint that was more, but this was like a magazine with glossy pages, full color.
oh,
The early versions of Interaction are newsletters. This one I got from I think Ken Williams supplied the PDF. Some of them are missing. I'm sure on archive.org you can find all of these. It's a great source for vintage magazines. And this is right. It has here a cover story about the uncertainty of CD-ROM. Invest your time before you waste your money. Because
yeah.
as we'll see, these things were expensive upgrades.
So what you're
And
saying is this magazine, all the stuff we see in here is going to be people that Sierra partnered with.
yes, and it's Sierra Games that is specifically pushing. It's a propaganda magazine pushing Sierra's own
Again.
own product. I mean, it was
Yeah,
just
what it
like,
does say right here, I don't know how can people see this magazine? Is it big enough to read?
yes, yeah, it's taking up that whole screen.
So
So
I noticed in very fine print in the corner, it says a blatantly biased look at games from the Sierra family. I'm not expecting to see, real hit pieces on King's Quest or
no, about how long it took to get the photo shoot of Roberta Williams in the hot tub for the
oh,
cover of
no.
Softporn Adventure. Nothing like, yeah, no scandals in here. It's all, but
How
what's
low the ugly truth.
right. But what is cool is they do mention games in here that never came out, or sometimes CD-ROM versions of games that never came out for one reason or another.
Whoa.
So we'll see some stuff in here. I mean, yeah, that's a sound card on the left, isn't it? Spectrum.
Yeah, I was going to pick up on what you were saying earlier because
Hmm.
we think about adventure games nowadays, and it's always these indie adventure game. It seems like kind of low budget, pixelated, nothing really pushing technology. Whereas back in these days,
Right.
the latest King's Quest or Quest for Glory or whatever it was, that would be the game you would upgrade your PC to play. I mean,
And PCs were a lot more expensive back then, right? You'd probably spend between $2,000 to $3,000, and then the upgrades themselves could cost as much, if not more, than the PC itself sometimes, depending on what parts you put in there and what the motherboard you did. Well, I mean, like now you could replace the motherboard to add more things.
oh
Uh,
sure.
Goblin in the chat just said he has some Laserdisc propaganda magazines, in parentheses, thinly veiled catalogs. That's such a great description, that were smaller and full color as well. So this was, I've heard this called like advertorial before. I mean, they had a staff to write this. Linus says, looking forward to the Drifter. I guess, is that an adventure game? I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, once we get into this magazine, though, there's a piece from Ken Williams in here I wanted to make
Sure,
sure
yeah, yeah, let's go for it.
he makes some predictions that are, in retrospect, the guy was spot on and kind of amazing. When was this magazine? Do we have a year?
Should have
1992.
should have a year in the table of contents to say 92, 93, something like that.
Oh, it was 93. Spring 90.
93.
Okay.
Okay.
I think Mist didn't come out until when did Mist come out? Like 95, right?
No, it was before 95. Say 93. I didn't know that. Wow, September 93. Geez. So that
Okay.
was a really, yeah, Myst was probably the first, um, you know, one of the first best-selling CD-ROM games that really pushed the format, kind of the must-have
Yeah,
title.
Seventh Guest might have been a little bit before that.
Right. Yeah, those both were really early titles. And when you would buy these hardware CD-ROM upgrade kits, they'd come with like 20 games sometimes, right? Or demos or all these different things. Same goes with the sound card.
Yeah, the sound card. We need to mention that too because that was another cluster. You know what? Because I mean, people can't even imagine this nowadays, right? But you had to have the right sound card that was compatible. Even installing these games, you had to select what kind of sound card you had and what freaking port it was plugged into.
Yes, and you could manually change the dip switches on the card itself to get the right IRQ port if there was a, yeah, I mean, it was,
This is only 16-bit sound on that. I mean,
and,
what are we
and
up to now? Like 128-bit or something crazy?
I don't even know. I mean, yeah, stereo sound is a big deal as well. That was a big, I mean, AdLib was the first sound card to really be, super popular and affordable. Sound Blaster was kind of the name brand. The one I recall that my friends, some of the more wealthy friends I had, was like the Gravis Ultrasound was like a real big one, a real kind of higher end, or you had Roland.
Well,
Um,
what I loved about him was the not so much this box, so that's pretty cool, but the like the Voodoo and all the later
oh, the graphics card.
they
Yeah.
come in these awesome looking boxes, and you'd be like, "What the heck is that?"
Right.
These crazy names, Killer Ultra Hyper,
And then have a picture of a robot or a
freaking
raid.
awesome.
Yeah, they have like a robot or a dragon on the cover, or a metal robot girl in a bikini or something. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Look,
Goblin says hardware was not plug and play, not at all like today's easy upgrade path. Yeah, I mean that's a big point. Before we had,
you needed a computer engineering degree just to be able to install a game.
to say nothing about navigating a command line interface like DOS or something stuff. I mean, even to get a game to run, you free up all the memory for it. Geez, I mean
No,
that's,
just installing a mouse all
yeah,
day.
right.
I mean, nobody just got a mouse and thought, I'm just going to plug this in and be good to go. Oh no, you had to set aside a day.
Right, and the mouse wouldn't work out of the box with things too. Sometimes you'd have to have multiple drivers to pick and load it into memory. But
I mean, as
with
an Amiga guy, I was on the Amiga forever, and for that, you just plugged in the mouse, you plugged in the joystick, no installation required. First time I started dealing with that kind of crap on the PC, I'm just like, wow. You guys have been suffering with this all this time, and I think it wasn't even, was it Microsoft Windows 95 that finally had the,
Yeah, yeah, 95 did plug and play, and
I mean,
specifically the USB plugins was such a huge thing where everything had the same input more or less. Made things a lot easier with some of the old, monitor connectors. You had to use screws to tighten those in, and they just,
again, there used to be just USB. Now we've got like four different flavors of that.
well, that I guess that's true. It used to be just the fat USB. Now it's USB-C. There's Lightning. There's all these other. You're right. Yeah, FireWire and all these different connectors. Anyhow, we could spend all day just on the sound card ad, but we should
Well, I was
get.
gonna, the
Yeah.
interesting thing about this ad here is on the bottom, it's got their competition.
Hmm.
So, good for Sierra, I guess they roll with that. All right, let's just take some of these pages and oh yeah, speaking of
Right.
CD, this is what I was reading earlier today as I was kind of prepping for this. So I think this is Ken Williams himself wrote this, or at least dictated it.
Yeah.
Not
Sure.
exactly what the
It's
situation.
it's 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 credited to him. Whether it was ghostwritten, I don't know, but it certainly sounds like him from how he talks and things. So
So it's an interesting read because this again, 1993. So he's talking about just what we were talking about when we started this. What happened? What was the history of the CD-ROM? How did that impact the industry and all that stuff? So here is Ken Williams right at the dawn of this. And you got to keep in mind, he's running this Sierra with all these high profile, big budget for the time games, King's Quest, Police Quest comes up in this, Space Quest, all of these games. And they're looking at this CD technology, wondering what the hell are they going to do? Because the standards are all over the place.
yeah, because before CD, the games were on two different kinds of diskettes. You had 5 1/4, the floppies that were really floppy, right? You could wiggle them around. Then you had the 3.5 inch ones that were more firm, that could store more data, but you couldn't flip them upside down like you could at the floppies.
Yeah,
And
not sure.
CD-ROM, you could, a 3.5 inch disc, you could fit about like 1.5 megs or 1.2 megs, something like that. And a CD-ROM was up to 700 megabytes eventually. I don't think they could hold quite that much starting out, but it was a huge increase in storage.
Yeah, it was cheap and it was
And yeah, that's cheaper
good
to
to flash.
manufacture, right? To
Just copy the CDs. I remember when those CD burners came out.
yeah.
That was a huge deal because, like, my dad, for example, was such a voracious pirate. He
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
dream of going to a CD because he was like he thought that was the whole point of that was to prevent the copying.
If anything, it increased the copying because you could copy a lot more.
It's the irony of
You could copy a hell of a lot more in one of those discs, and you would buy like a spindle of 100 blank CDs for $20, $30. Now, a lot of these were like poorly made blank CDs and bad, but
oh,
it would be you get some lemons in there. But right, I mean, it was just the CD burner was kind of yeah, it was like the next phase in piracy when stuff was still physical. The internet, the download speeds weren't enough to download things digitally.
I'm
Um,
getting the CD burners and think I had a car stereo. Well, I went out and upgraded my car stereo just so I could use my CD-ROM thing because I had like 100 songs on that
oh, you
CD.
could do the MP3 CDs,
Yeah, the
right?
MP3 CD is like,
Uh,
yeah.
uh. Well, this is awesome. Wow. So yeah, AdLib Gold.
Oh,
So
that's
it
a sound card.
once 179 would have been pretty cheap for a sound card at that time.
That's a diversity card there.
Oh right, yeah, as the whole spectrum. Again,
Yeah.
ahead of its time. You got Lemmings on there.
Lemmings.
What a great game.
Oh, the saxophone. Was this 1993? I think I guess the saxophone was still a big deal back then.
Bill Clinton made the saxophone popular again, the alto sax. I think he got
Yeah,
it.
why did Riker play trombone?
Trombone, yeah. Trombone is never as cool as a saxophone, but a
Hey.
guitar is a guitar is still the coolest instrument, more so than the drums.
Lies an ad lib card, gold 1,000, $179.
So what made it gold, I would guess, would be maybe 16-bit sound, maybe the support of stereo, I mean, yeah, because before sound cards, everything was PC speakers, beep 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 beep, those kind of sounds, and it was. I
Uh,
actually like how the PC speaker sounded, but I mean, it was pretty annoying, and unless you had a speaker, you couldn't adjust the volume. Oh, that's a good point. Goblin says in the '90s you had the swing revival with
oh, that's
bands like Cherry Pop and Daddies and people doing the swing
ska,
dancing.
ska music. Like,
Yes, right.
didn't that
Yes,
have saxophone or was that a horn? Or
ska was trumpets and ska was a little bit of everything, but yeah, you had a lot of brass and so forth in there.
God,
And look, yeah, so this
where else did you hear
article,
the word ska today?
this article here. What about upgrading my IBM computer? That first sentence is notable. Sierra derives 95% of our revenue from IBM computers.
Oh,
So that means
where you see?
only,
Oh, where my mouse is?
yeah, where the mouse is.
Yeah,
So that's,
he's right on the money here though, because like he does a good job in here. He says that the PC is where it's going to be, and that these other systems like the CD-TV is. He doesn't quite say it's crap, but you can sort of infer that he doesn't like the CD
yes.
and the 3DO and all. There's like a CDI, a bunch of those dedicated.
Yeah, he's mentioning Sega CD was around $300. Sega CD was a product really ahead of its time. I don't think, I think that kind of bit him a bit. Um, but he mentions on a PC getting a CD-ROM drive is around 500, and on a Sega it'll be 300. Super Nintendo was supposed to have a CD add-on that would have been manufactured by Sony, but then things fell apart, and Sony made that into the PlayStation.
Oh, what was it? The Philips thing, because they ended up making the
CDI, Philips was CDI, and then you had 3DO.
they made some kind of off-brand
Yes,
games.
right.
Is that
Well,
Philips?
Philips had an official deal with Nintendo, but the games were like infamously crappy, like Mario Hotel and um, Zelda Wand of Gamelon, or I mean, with the Russian animation, it's just anyway, yeah. But point being, you had a lot of CD consoles, you had a lot of CD-ROM. They were pushing on the PC as well, and it's a more expensive upgrade. Um,
Yeah, for Sega, it's around $300, he says. On the IBM, it was $500.
and for some of these early CD-ROM games, the suggested retail price, I think originally of like King's Quest V or King's Quest 6 on CD-ROM was $99.99.
Yeah, you adjust for inflation, and that's like
Oh, ouch! Yeah, well, sure. It's like,
look at this piece here about this will require. So he's talking about once you get your CD drive,
mm, yeah.
this require changes to your config.sys file. Oh my God.
Config.sys, autoexec.bat. You could do custom menus in DOS 6.2 to free up memory or
Do you remember all your DOS commands? Like,
yes, or most of them. Well, the one I thought was cool is dir, and then it's imore.
oh, I remember
It's
dir slash W, I think.
/w/p/s, maybe. I don't know. I was about 12 when my family got the computer for the house, really, that we could kind of fool around on. Was my dad's work desktop was a 386 with PC speaker, and eventually we got a Packard Bell, which was a piece of shit, was a 46, but it had a double speed CD-ROM drive, a very poor sound card, wasn't even ad lib. But I mean, all that being said, it was still a multimedia computer, and it was really, I wouldn't be talking to you today if it wasn't for us having that computer. On the left, the Sierra Network, that was a huge thing they were pushing.
Were you on the Sierra network?
I wasn't, but one of my friends was. Yeah, Larry Land. Um,
Very
and
late night with Larry.
you got a free amount, you got like X amount of hours for free per month with that. But if you went beyond that, you got charged
God,
for
this is for
for
adults only. This is like a what are we looking at here?
this. I think it has a chat room. Oh, I see. Less than 60 cents an hour.
Oh, is it like sexy chat or is it surely?
You could do sexy chat, I suppose, with online personas. I mean, that's like online dating, sort of. That's really get set to interface in cyberspace. That sounds dodgy. But you could do the card games and casinos. Um,
19
later, they
membership
yeah
flame.
later they made an offline version of this, just called Larry's Casino. But Yeah, I mean that picture on the left of but 60 cents an hour for online. Think about that. I mean, my buddy, when he was in elementary school, he convinced his mom to get him the Sierra network. In 1 month, he had a bill for like $400.
Yeah, you can see why Ken was excited about this. It wouldn't take that many addicts.
It was just ahead of its time.
Well,
I think
all
it
business.
was never quite profitable enough. They had some RPGs on there. Um,
Imagine the 60 cents an hour. So you adjust for inflation, that's probably, let's just say a couple of bucks.
sure,
Plus the long distance charges, which are even more than that, I'm sure.
long distance charges. Although
Maybe
it
15 or
says you
20
can
bucks.
access Sierra Network toll free in most of the continental United States.
Oh, where's this? Oh, well,
At the bottom, that's surprising actually.
yeah, that's a good deal then. I
So
didn't.
that's a good deal, but you're still tying up your phone line when you're on the internet. Um,
Yeah, that's another thing. And unless you have a dedicated phone line, if you
that's
want
what,
one more,
yeah,
you had to have like 3 or 4 lines
you're right, right. And
at least.
I think I was on the internet way too much. We had to get a second phone line, yeah, just for the internet.
Everything.
Ah,
All right.
okay,
Yeah, we want to get through the whole magazine, right?
yeah. So we're not doing so hot. So let's keep going.
It was this Chris Williams kid. That's their son, right?
That's the sun, yeah.
Oh, 13 years old. So he wanted to be in the computer entertainment industry. Whatever happened to him? Do we know?
He worked in games, I believe. I mean, working directly for Sierra, doing some stuff. We see, yeah, he's doing this. Had a column or something in the magazine. But I'm not sure.
Just judging by that photo, I'm guessing he went into computer engineering.
No, that's quite the it's very 90s, right? With that collared shirt and the hair. Um,
Hey,
Geez.
he's smart though if you read his article here.
Yeah, no, it's a well-written piece, and it's
Although he says he's not good at was it Space Quest?
Space Quest 5, yeah.
They didn't get too far.
Well, Space Quest 5, there's easy ways to die. That's true. Again, so it's pushing this. The whole point of this magazine is to push merchandise, right? Look in the lower right, and they're selling off hint guides for Sierra books through Compute as the publisher.
Look at this.
Um,
Thank all of you who wrote to me because that's what got me the second column. I tried to answer all of the letters on TSM, but I never got around to writing back.
TSN, the Sierra Network, yeah.
And
Well,
people were just nuts about Sierra, weren't they?
they were, and the Sierra games always outsold the LucasArts ones by a huge margin, even if some may consider the games worse. Um,
Oh, they're talking about Phantasmagoria here.
oh boy, yeah, that
Going
was
to
it.
be rated R. Wait a minute. He's only 13. He can't be playing a rated R game.
You think? I don't think Ken Williams really cared. I think he would rather have his son as a free playtester than
You think just he
get to
gets
work, kid. I say that with all due respect, but I think it.
there was always something kind of vaguely seedy going on there, at you'd mentioned the hot tub and the
They were just hippies
oh,
having a good time. I mean,
wrong
if,
with
if you look at the book by, I think it's Stephen Levy who wrote the book Hackers.
yeah.
There's the chapter on Sierras, by far the most entertaining part of the book, about them throwing these ragers over the weekend and the big parties and stuff.
Yeah, they were all doing that. I mean,
At
our
Atari, a lot of
Howard Scott Warshaw filled me in on the
yeah, he did. Warshaw did
Carolina
a
review break.
documentary. I mean, that's what well, actually, someone is making a Sierra documentary that's been kickstarted, but it's not out yet. But that would be good to have that director on. Okay, let's get going. We got what,
There's
80
some
pages to go. What is this? 88 pages? That's pretty impressive.
Oh, here's somebody that upgraded. The several $100s I spent upgrading my 386 SX to 486 DX.
Yes, I'm impatiently waiting the mission builders for Red Baron and Aces. Oh, we got some more in the chat. The last mention of Chris Williams I found is he worked for a company called Brand X Games in 2011.
He did. He went on into computers.
How about that? That's great.
Yeah,
Cool.
good for Chris.
Thanks, Calvin. That's fantastic. Right. And doing it.
Congratulations, buddy.
Uh, yeah, not that Sierra was a. Well, actually, no, that's not true. The Sierra brand was around under Activision. Anyway, Actually, one of my friends, one of my sister's friends from college, worked at Sierra Games in marketing when they were owned by Activision, and they were just doing these kind of family games for the Xbox 360. But I don't think she has any good stories. But that was just something I thought was cool. It's like I
I don't know
used
if it
to,
was Canada. One of them I was talking to, they had mentioned how you had all these cool games, but the ones that sold the most were like these casino and card games, like the
yeah,
Hoyle.
yeah, right. The Hoyle stuff did
And they
good.
just sold exponentially more than the titles we all think of.
In an interview I did with Ken Williams, he said the NASCAR games did super well, and all that hardware, the racing,
Yeah.
the I mean the flight sim stuff, of course, did good with the joysticks. You see on the left, there's Falcon 3.0,
Yeah,
which
that's a
I mean that they're doing ads that aren't just Sierra stuff. I guess I didn't quite remember that part, but this is mostly a magazine to push Sierra in the editorial content. But yeah, Falcon 3.0, and look at all that stuff packed in the game. You have,
wow, that one's a two-player modem version. I wonder how that worked.
not well. I can't imagine the frame rate was. I mean, those were the system requirements on those were insane, like for the flight sims or the any of that. So, yeah, the Software Publishers of America is talking about nominees for awards from these are like Sierra and Dynamix games. Aces of the Pacific. Did you ever play that one?
And I'm glad to hear somebody else say Dynamix. I thought I was the only
Was
one.
it Dynamics? Is that what it is?
I think
I think yeah. Dynamix sounds like
it
a
sounds,
competitor or
looks
something.
like it should be Dynamix. It never clicked with me that that's probably Dynamics enough.
It looks like Chex Mix or something. Yeah. Oh, that's right. They did the sports games, front page sports, football, baseball. Those did very well.
Yeah, look at the Jeff Donnell's game here. Incredible machine.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, no, that was,
A couple people involved in that one, right?
and yeah, Incredible Machine was something you would see on school computers a lot, and I think it's a good way to teach
Oh,
thinking and logic, and the cartoon aesthetic is fun.
yeah, Rube Goldberg.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so that's cool. Let's keep on going. What we
Basically,
got
I happen to have a copy of that.
there? Oh, look at that in the upper right. Early education program, alphabet blocks. So I didn't off of the Sierra Discovery series.
Wow, it's revolutionary, man.
So I
Revolutionary.
mean, you had something they called it edutainment back in the day, where they were,
Edutainment.
more education than lessons, but it was a good way to learn and a way to get people to used to how to use the mouse. I mean, that's something we take for granted. Or
Yeah.
can people even use the mouse anymore? They probably expect it to be just all touchscreen.
Oops. Willie Beamish.
Man, that used you had some old Disney animators do stuff for Willie Beamish. That was really
Oh, what did Mark Crow do here? He created that stand? What the hell is that thing here? Flight control system. The
that's
keyboard support, which places it at an upright angle resembling a cockpit control panel.
hmm, how about that? The pilot control stand. That's
Oh, it's not the actual stick, it's the just a stand for it.
I guess yeah, at a price at 29.95. Well, that seems like easy money for a piece of plastic that maybe you can put your notes on it. I have no idea what you would. I
Pilot
don't quite
stand.
understand why you'd use that, but okay. Um,
Well, maybe he was just experimenting. Maybe he had like his own little sort of jury rig system and thought, I got an idea.
right. I mean, that's often how people invent things, right? Oh, we got something from Brain Pattern. Loved Willie Beamish as a kid. Revisited it recently. Not sure it held up. And Goblin has a good one. Johnny Castaway. That's a cool product. It's just a screensaver,
Yeah, I
but
was at the ad over here.
it was like a Gilligan's Island sort of thing, and it was different brief kind of cartoons of him, drowning or trying getting hit by coconuts or whatever. But it had a lot of charm to it. It had, on holidays like St. Patrick's Day, it says here in the copy, right? They do special sequences on certain days.
Yeah, that's
That's
the whole lost art of screensavers. I
and
remember talking to Jim Sachs one time,
yeah,
and he made incredible money with a fish screens.
okay, yeah, I bet. I mean,
I mean, he had like a mansion and retired just
wow,
that screensaver. I mean,
yeah, I had a friend a writer who he passed away, but his friend was the main writer on The Seventh Guest and 11th Hour, one of those games. And he was able to get a percentage of software sales and part of his deal. And he was able to, essentially retire pretty early and did very well for himself.
Yeah, these screensavers. I don't even think, do you even use a screensaver anymore?
I mean, it's still built into Windows, but
It just kind
no.
of goes blank, right? I
I
don't.
guess you're right. I guess you're right.
Well, that did it something change when you went from the CRT type situation to the
There was less risk of burn-in with the LCD screens. Early plasmas could have burn-in, but that. Oh, okay. Wow, look at that on the right. So Crazy Nick's Screen Favor picnic basket sale, where you could get bundles of the games for cheaper, for just 34.95 each. That's less than half price. What, really? And that means they're charging what, $70 for Larry 5 at retail. The
yeah.
Mac still uses a screensaver. That is true.
I'm trying to do the math here. I'm thinking, what if you had all these games when they came out, you just left them sealed? What would they
Or
be?
which ones are actually worth I mean, the Sierra ones, their games often did pretty well. They sold a lot of copies. Doesn't that make it worth? Well, I don't know if that makes it worth more or less. I guess it's mint in box, right? That's the important
Yeah,
part.
the more they sell, the less it's worth, right? Because of the yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. And
but
probably that whole book of games is probably worth nothing.
I think a few might be worth something, but it depends on.
That
Um,
box looks pretty awesome. Oh,
yeah,
that's
or
this
yeah,
one.
what? That's bizarre. Look at that ad in the lower left. We're not. We're This might have to be like a 6-part episode or something at this rate. But look at this on the lower left. Save $200 on the limited edition collector's King's Quest 6 print
Oh,
with archival frame. Who bought that? A $500 value for only 300.
who bought that? Somebody bought it. Somebody bought it.
I think Roberta Williams bought it.
Probably the
Maybe.
person that was sending, it's probably the guy that was sending Chris Williams like 50 emails.
So look at that. If you look at that, that's a still from in the game when you're talking to the Lord of the Dead. So in King's Quest 6, when you talk to some people, it had the really close up, super detailed artwork with the limited animation for the mouths. Um,
Wow.
and this, as a collector's print with an archival, at least it comes with a frame for
What the
300
hell is an
bucks.
archival frame? What is that?
Presumably that means it's not plastic, but I wouldn't put much. Maybe they're nice frames. I don't know. That's a great question. I might send Ken an email asking if he has one of these
Yeah,
prints.
somebody in the comments, see what these are going for.
Right. I look on eBay or something. I mean, are these worth more than the Star Trek collector plates from 1980 something?
I mean, just imagine. Oh my God, 1-800-344-9633. Or get Matt, get off the modem. I gotta get the gotta oh my God, a piece of game history.
And look, it looks like what? So that it was a deal they did with San Francisco Art Exchange. So presumably you could go to that store in person and buy
I
this
can't even
print.
see the I can barely even see the image on it. I guess that's something from King's Quest 6.
It's King's Quest 6. You're talking to the Lord of the Dead. It looks vaguely kind of Native American. It's going to look like crap if you zoom in on it. But but on the right, Rise of the Dragon, that was a great game. It was a cool kind of Blade Runner knockoff adventure game.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games. I like the A10 Tank Killer.
But yeah, Tank. That's right. You had Tank Sims. That was a thing
What
for
else they
it.
got there?
Laura Bow.
Dollar 7 is really good.
Oh yeah, I didn't play that one. Is that like a
It's kind of like a
strategy or?
battle zone type game, as I recall.
Okay, okay, sure. Um, Dr. Brain. I always thought those games were solid. Again, very much educational, but well done. Oh, okay. So Brain Pattern is filling us out. Archival frame means it may have UV resistant glass and acid free paper. So nothing degrades over time. Nothing degrades, but yeah, it doesn't degrade as quickly over time.
Good. So that would protect your $300.
Investment. Yeah.
Oh man.
Jeez. Okay, buddy. Yeah, let's keep let's
Yeah, here's this. I read this part of this because I'm just a big police quest. That's my favorite one.
Oh, this was controversial. This is when they had Daryl F. Gates.
Well, they had some, this is the Rodney King thing, if you remember that. And
Yeah, internally they referred to this game as Rodney King's Quest.
oh yeah, it was just
Oof.
a disaster because suddenly nobody liked cops, I guess.
Yeah, right. No, it was a big start of that. I mean, I don't think people did not like police before then, but that certainly didn't help anything with all the disproportionate, arrest and beatings of people of color and stuff.
Horrible. And then, just to be making a game that's was in any way related to that. Oh,
The Goblin looked on eBay for us and says that lithograph, someone has it up for sale at for $36,000 on eBay, but
oh,
no sold listings. Yeah, I wonder why.
who
No
is
clue as to the actual worth.
who is Daryl F. Gates? Isn't he? Oh, he's the
He was the LAPD.
oh my God.
He was the head dude,
The
and
actual
he was their consultant on Police Quest 4
oh my
and
gosh, you're telling me that the this is so horrible.
yeah,
So
Sierra
he's the
used
chief of the LAPD at the time that
yes.
and they're making this game with him. Oh,
In some ways, that's the best publicity the game could have gotten. I mean, whether it internally, a lot of people were trying to change who they worked with instead of Daryl F. Gates, but that didn't end up happening. And Ken Williams' really excellent memoir, we can post a link in the show description. Is like not all endings are fairy tale endings, or it's something like that. I don't have the book title in front of me, but that the memoir really goes into this quite a big deal. Daryl Gates also was a consultant on the first SWAT game,
I thought they
Police
mentioned
Quest SWAT.
Rodney King in here somewhere, but maybe I'm just misremembering. Oh, here's something about King. Most of us have not seen real violence, and people are really repulsed. In the Rodney King, see, he talks about Rodney King here.
Well, okay. I mean
Right.
that gets eyeballs if nothing else. Um,
The sergeant should have used the swarm technique.
well, he didn't. So, I mean,
Oh,
Police Quest 4 open season, I think, is really bad on a lot of levels. I think it's my least favorite of the Police Quest games.
yeah, I've only played the first one, but
It comes off as fairly racist in some parts, even for a game back then.
really, oh,
Just to, I mean, that could be an interesting stream to say the least of Police Quest 4. That might be worth doing, but
get controversial.
get more views. But oh, so here's something on the right, right? You have Space Quest
Get
5.
get away from that uncomfortable
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. Let's go back to Space Quest. Yeah, so we have some Space Quest on here, the next mutation.
Yeah,
And why did Space Quest 5 never have the CD version? I always wondered that. Because Space Quest 4 did, and 6 did. And I would think with did we ask that when we were talking to one of the guys from Andromeda?
what was the question?
Why did Space Quest 5 not have a CD version with voices?
Oh, yeah. I remember we even what was the answer to that?
I think we brought that up, and there is, I don't, maybe it was a budget thing, or because you
Yeah,
have
good
Captain
PR
Quark
or
as the
something.
bad, you have the William Shatner thing as the bad guy, and to have that as a voice would have been real fun to hear him and Wilco with the voices going at it.
Yeah, I don't. I'd have to go back and watch that again. Sierra and Dynamics unite to create a side-splitting sensation. Oh, this is all about Space Quest 5.
I see some more advertising things.
Just how weird is Space Quest 5? Yeah, they do a lot of this in character stuff.
Oh, this thing on the right with the phone, Sierra had a thing with Sprint where if you switched your phone line to Sprint, you could get some free computer games. And in Space Quest 5, they had an advertisement for Sprint. Some other games might have had ads for Sprint as well.
The most will save Sprint customers. Yeah, something about this always makes me wonder what's the catch?
Long distance service.
Fiber optic clarity.
What does that even mean in 93?
Yeah, I guess you know what I started did that Space Quest video.
Yeah.
Got all these weird comments, and come to find out that the Buckazoid current
Oh,
there's apparently a cryptocurrency called Buckazoids.
I didn't know that, but that has to be a Space Quest reference.
Yeah, but it's like this scam, and
Oh, peep, so got a lot of that kind of
I get
crypto
all these comments from people.
garbage.
Oh, Buckazoids, Buckazoids. I'm like, what?
Uh, right.
The kind
Oh,
of comments that I want comments, but not about that.
not about Buckazoids. Okay, that's funny. Oh, here's something. So, Freddie Farkas Frontier Pharmacist. That was Al Lowe, and Josh Mandel was a writer on that. And I think that's a game that's overlooked a bit. They only had the one
I was
title.
thinking about that. It's kind of this blazing saddles of
Right. Yeah. Blazing Saddles. That one did have a CD-ROM version with voices and had the song on it that Al Lowe did the vocals because they hired someone else to sing the song and they couldn't do it the way Al Lowe wanted, so he just did it himself.
oh, that's cool.
And when you hear the track in the game, you can hear Al Lowe laughing before some of the lyrics. I think they only did it in one take or something, but that makes it charming. Um,
Yeah, there's some of the cast from that. How to stop playing the Incredible Machine.
mm.
The
Oh
good.
wow, there's the good, the bad, and the but ugly. That's a pretty good tagline.
It's a great movie.
Yes, yes, all the Clint Eastwood.
Man, I wish I had all these. How many of these games do you have in the box copy?
Oh geez, I mean, since I moved out here I don't have any boxes at all, hardly. I'd have to go to my mom's basement in Atlanta. What I did have a lot of were these CD compilations of like Space Quest 1 through 6 on one CD or Quest for Glory 1 through 4 in one CD. And there were these rectangular boxes, collecting some of their titles for like $30, $20, something like that. But I do not have um, the original boxes of the games. That'd be a fun sort of collection. And certainly on eBay, people just sell just the boxes now. A lot of the times can go for some money.
I've found is you can save a little money if you buy just the box and then the manual and the discs and stuff separately.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I was looking
And
about Al Low box.
right.
Do you
And
think this is true? He says that the let's see, where does he say this? Leisure Suit Larry 1 has the dubious distinction of being the most pirated game in software history. How would they know that?
um, did they call Guinness Book of World Records? I don't know. That's a good question. I have no doubt it was pirated a lot. I think there was a computer virus going around that made itself look like a Leisure Suit Larry game. And the scuttlebutt for some of those older games is they sold more copies of the hint guides than they did for the actual game.
Yeah, I keep hearing that, and I've asked a couple people, and they deny that that's true. So I don't know what the.
But certainly the profit margin on those hint guides was pretty high. Al Lowe wrote the early Sierra hint guides and got a 50-50 split on the revenue from it,
Yeah,
and
I
it
think it's true because the
did
like
pretty well.
he was telling me that no, it's not true because there's a different company that made the hint guides, but no, it was the Sierra itself that published those.
At first, yeah, at first it was themselves doing it. Later on, yeah, they did have to, went through different publishers like Prima, or I don't know, Brady Games or whoever else they used.
And I wish Neil was here because look at what's on this page. Secrets of Crondor.
Oh, right, that was the Sierra game. Yeah, that's right, and you worked on it. Yeah, Betrayal of Crondor,
Excellent, excellent game.
excellent RPG, really heavy focus on story. And then what's cool is down the line. So I mean, it's based off the Crondor books by Raymond E. Feist, although it's original adventure. And later on, Raymond E. Feist himself adapted the game's plot into a novel of its own.
Yeah, I've got that novel here somewhere.
I think it's just called Crondor the Betrayal or
Yeah,
something.
he
But
thinks,
he did like three of them or something because you had a Crondor game. Then you had Return to Crondor, but in the middle you had Betrayals of Antara because they didn't want to pay for the rights for Crondor, but they used the same engine.
well, I thought the funny part of that story was Neil tells the story how They wanted Feist to do it, and he was like, "There's no way you can afford me." But then,
Really? I wonder how much did it take?
yeah, so like Neil ended up writing the story, and then Feist ended up taking his story and like adapting it for a novel.
Oh, I see. Huh.
So, I don't know what the numbers were like, because I mean, obviously Raymond E. Feist is a best-selling novelist, but how does that compare to a really hit game like Betrayal of Condor?
Well, and to have like a novelist consult in a computer game, they're not going to pay him that much.
True.
Let's be real here. Oh, so Quest for Glory 3, that's in the Africa setting. Uh, it's called something else, but that one I like. It's a shorter game, but the setting is really distinct. It's not the standard sort of European setting of like the first
That's
one.
cool. You notice too this ad how it stresses replayable because of course that's the problem.
Yes, right.
That's the problem with adventure games. You play it once, you're not going to play it over and over again.
That's right. Yeah, it's not like the puzzles change. It's not like oh, Goblin has a good joke in there. We surveyed self-reporting pirates. Could be. And he says, another good point. Goblin's just on fire today. He's saying, "I love the hand-drawn maps from the old RPGs." Yes,
Oh yeah, that's I
Ultima is really good with that. Might and Magic, Wizardry.
X post on X recently about this, just how much I love maps and like the cloth map.
Sure,
I still think there should be some maps. One thing I'm wondering though is why they didn't do more of the fold out maps. Because you get like a Rand McNally travel map and the thing folds. It's a colossal thing, right?
sure.
I mean, why not do something fun like that? That would give you a real reason to get the collector's edition. But for some, even if you buy a collector's edition, it's just like a small map. Like make the thing huge.
You're right. I mean, because a big map, you could put that up in your office and they'll look cool, especially
Roll
with
it
it.
out.
Oh, that's awesome. Brain Pattern says he still has, and I'm assuming so. Brain Pattern says they still have the Might and Magic 3, 4, and 5 maps hanging on his wall in his office.
Oh,
But
but you don't have that archival
no,
on you. No
what a
archival.
pity.
So what was
I
that?
mean, that archival
Be
stuff's
protected.
interesting because I've self-published some of my books, and you do have the option if you self-publish through Amazon of picking archival quality paper. But I'm always skeptical. It's like it makes it more expensive, and I wonder how archival is archival.
As long as you don't have it like in front of a window where the sun is glaring on.
Yeah, right. And as
The,
long as it's not printed on newsprint, where it's like if you look at it wrong, it has a tear.
oh, yeah, I got my maps too. Brain pattern. I got one of those Might and Magic, or maybe a couple of them had the cloth maps too. I know that six had a cloth map.
Well, and speaking of Sierra, Ultima 2 was originally published under Sierra.
Yeah, that's true. And I
And it
think
had a cloth map. I think that
the
was something that
condition
Gary had.
was he cloth map
Right.
or he wasn't going to publish through them.
Cloth map or die. Now they only did the so
Can
cool,
you
cool.
imagine that? Oh my goodness. Just imagine the being Richard Garriott, Lord British, and you're like, what? He's like 18, 19.
Man, yeah, him and his brother and his
Like, oh,
pretty much did the company
you're
for
not
a
going to
time.
publish my Ultimate game unless you include a cloth map.
Oh, that'd be someone. Have you ever had Raymond Bedson on the show?
No.
He used to write some of the. I'll have to reach out to him. He used to write some of the Origin games, like I think some of the Ultimas, like 5 or 6 or something. And then later, he wrote a lot of licensed James Bond novels.
Oh.
So kind of a different and Metal Gear Solid novels. Like it's kind of a wild
I,
pivot.
I read those Fleming novels not too long ago.
Oh, the originals, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some dated content.
Especially in Live and Let Die. Yikes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like reading Tarzan or something. But
Hmm.
there's some certain H.P. Lovecraft, the ape or whatever. Yeah. Anyhow,
What
let's
is the
keep.
prophecy? I don't even know that one.
I don't recognize that at all. That seems a real
Kingdom
deep.
of the Blue Rocks.
Is this like the least appealing text of all time? Prophecy proclaims that Ween can save the kingdom. Really? If he can find the missing pieces to put back the rebus of time.
Rebus. Oh, that
This
sounds
sounds like a
like
King of the Hill or
oh
Beavis
my
and
God,
Butthead.
doctor, I think I have a Rebus.
Well,
Oh,
I can go for about like 10 more minutes, so let's do
yeah.
some more.
Well, let's see. Is there any particular page you wanted to? We could just
Go to the table of contents and look up the CD-ROM article. I think that would be good to end on.
where is
Yeah,
that?
a feature on CD-ROMs, I think.
Are you seeing it? More
Maybe
puzzle.
not.
Two
Let's see.
pages, departments.
I guess I can
There was
here.
something about CD-ROMs. What am I?
Was that just in the
Maybe
introduction?
it's just about King's Quest 6.
Could be. I'm pulling it up on
Shoot.
here. I'm trying to look at it too. Let's see what we got. Yeah,
Oh,
go to page 49. Yeah, that's it. The
a
new standard.
multimedia masterpiece. Well, that's true enough. Wait, was this a good one or a bad one?
What, Inca?
No, the King's Quest 6.
King's Quest 6 is good. Yeah, do page. Oh, 40 is Ween. Yeah, do 49 is multimedia. So go to page 49 there.
This is 49. What's next for CDs? Yeah,
Oh,
Phantasmagoria. I like how they describe Phantasmagoria, a top secret CD only title that will once
well, it's
again.
not. Is it secret if you tell them the name? But yeah.
Did you get it says page 40. Did you get that
No, 40 was the prophecy page we just did. It's 49.
did you get Phantasmagoria when it came out?
I did not, but my religious friend did, and so he traded me his Phantasmagoria for a bit, and I traded him my Gabriel Knight too.
Oh, see, I would rather have the Gabriel Knight too.
Well, I didn't give it to him for good. We just, lent it for a month or two, and then got the
Yeah,
game back.
I love those Gabriel Knight games. It's about some of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft has the right to most of the Sierra stuff now, and Jane Jensen has talked about wanting to like executive produce a new Gabriel Knight game if they'd be up for it, but they just seem to be sitting on a lot of those properties. Although lately now on Xbox you can play the old Sierra games somehow, so maybe they'll announce something. But so you just had it on that page, King's Quest 6, a multimedia masterpiece. There you go. So yeah, let's look at this.
You get more music, lyrics by Jane Jensen. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and she was the co-designer on this game with Roberta, and yeah, it had the song "Girl in the Tower" that they tried to get radio airplay and failed. Um, but
See,
the CD version, it had the CG intro that was 50 megs big, and it was done by a company, Kronos, that did work on Terminator 2 and Batman Returns. And
they're right about this. It's these talkers that truly set the game apart from its disc-based counterpart.
yes, and
That was
even
the
yeah,
deal.
look, so this is the disc version. Oh, it's just talking about the animated intro. On the disc version, the cartoon took up 8 megs of space and ran 3 minutes. The CD version runs 7 minutes and spans a massive 50 megs of CD space.
Yeah, nowadays you just skip all the cutscenes. Back then, it's like you bought the game just for that cutscene.
And some of these would be almost like 20 minutes long or something. King's Quest 5, I remember in particular, having a really lengthy intro. Like that was. But for this, you can see this graphic on here of what Prince Alexander with the
Yeah,
um,
people love that stuff. I remember I made that back in elementary school, I guess. But I had all these games like Lemmings that has a little
yeah,
movie
yeah.
start of it. So I just made like a VHS recording of all these little movies, and I take that to school, and people would want to buy it.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, that's so cool! I love
I
the
guess
little.
that was the original Matt chat or something. Or
I
so
guess.
let's see here. So yeah, so you didn't have too much celebrity talent on these early games. Robbie Benson, the voice of Prince Alexander, was the voice of the Beast in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
Um,
I was looking at that. Bill
but,
Rat.
but that and that guy did a lot of TV, but he's not like Robin Williams or something, right? He's not like a name that's that.
Well, I had some voice actors on the show, and I'm kind of swung to that perspective that they really need to just go with voice actors instead
Yes,
of bringing in
or
screen actor.
Yeah, one, the voice actors are more affordable, but two, they have more experience doing it and they're better at the acting of it because voice acting isn't the same as on camera acting.
No,
Um,
you think you can, if you think just anybody can do it, just try it sometime.
yeah, right. It's yeah, they misspelled Jane Jensen's name in this article. That's funny. It's S
What?
yeah, it's they spell it as S-O-N and it's S-E-N.
Well, maybe it's not too late for her to write in.
I'm sure she wants nothing more than to write into a
Probably bothered her all these years, you know.
well, yeah, 35 years. It's the first thing she thinks of when she wakes up and the last thing haunting her at night.
Do you ever get people that spell your name with two T's?
All the time, or Shergi they misspell. I just always tell them they do it right and don't bother correcting them anymore unless it's like a legal document.
Yeah, nobody likes to be corrected.
No, even if you're right, you come off as a bit of a jerk. Actually, it's done this way. Oh, so this is something. If you go to page 57, you're mentioning those Hoyle games. There you
Yeah.
go. Right. And so you're seeing on the right, there's a sidebar. On the left, they're talking about Hoyle Classic, where it has Willie Beamish and Roger Wilco and these other characters you can have as your avatar. But on the right, they did, Hoyle 2, Volume 2 was solitaire games, which is weird. 'Cause, I mean, 28 different solitaire games. I guess that's more than the one Windows came with. And then Volume 3 is board games with like checkers, dominoes, snakes and ladders. Who gives a shit about snakes and ladders?
Man, I remember a girl in college that would plant herself in front of solitaire and stay there all night long.
Oh, she was mainlining it, huh? She was
Yeah.
just
I'm like,
hooked.
good God. It was
I
scary
I
how,
like I liked it okay, but I can never. I
I mean,
mean,
how many times you could play what? A couple games and get bored with it, you know?
if that, yeah, it took me a while even just to have the patience to play it once, and even then, if I'm going to play a card game like blackjack or poker is more my speed. But
I had a student one time. I used to have a little student website, teaching website, and I had a Tetris, little sad little Tetris clone on it.
oh,
I had a student come up to me and was like, "Can you please take that Tetris game off your site because I'm addicted to it?" I thought he was just joking around, but he's like, "No, seriously." I'm like up all night long playing it.
oh, okay.
Like, oh my goodness, yeah, I don't know. I guess we shouldn't make fun.
We can do one more.
Lost secrets. Yeah, let's see. Is there anything?
I mean, look,
Oh,
okay. This is one that will be.
mixed up Mother Goose.
Oh, geez, I mean, they remade that game 2 or 3 times.
This must have been like something she was really passionate about.
I guess let's to end this. This would be a good page to do it on. Go to page 77.
What page am I on now? Oh, Eusebius. Oh, we didn't get to this.
We can end on Eusebius. That's fine. Let's do Eusebius.
Oh, we got to your page.
Okay, fine.
Where is it?
77, I said.
Oh, that's hot. This is what
So
you want?
here it says hi. I mean, these kind of games or books are different where you had Space Quest Companion, King's Quest Companion. So it had a walkthrough of the game, but it also had a walkthrough written as a novel, sort of.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that I mean, it wasn't written especially well, but it was kind
What are
of
you
a
talking
different
about?
thing.
Look how hot it is.
Yeah, with that tropical font. If we scroll things down, I think the last page for real is go to page 80. It has the rumor mill, so that could be fun to look at that and see.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate I hate the picture of Worm Dude of the guy with the beak is pretty disturbing.
What's that all about?
The early bird gets the worm, but I don't know why you need uh, half human, half worm homunculus. So let's see. So here,
I always like the way they talk to their fans and these things. I mean, and they
right?
really,
Yeah, it wasn't condescending. It reminds me a bit of like Stan Lee talking to fans at the end of the Marvel comics. Sometimes, hey, true believer, blah blah blah. We're doing stuff with the.
I mean, they didn't realize at the time, I guess, just how fortuitous it was. They were just raking in these millions and millions of dollars.
So
They probably thought it was going to last forever.
right. I mean, it lasted for quite a long time. So this
Oh, yeah.
part of in this rumor mill, it talks about King's Quest 6 CD is the first Sierra title to use Brightstar's patented lip sync technology. So you would give it a voice clip and it would do the lip sync automatically, I guess, um, which is pretty ahead of its time. The problem is if you play it on a modern computer, even with the emulation, the lips don't match because it has to be very specific with the hardware. But that's not bad. Arresting Development and the Police
Yeah,
Quest series.
just looking at that, so they bring it up again. How
So it talks about, yeah, so Jim Walls was the guy who did
if
Police
people
Quest.
can get past the considerable controversy that made Chief Gate. What
It's an understatement.
are you gonna say, Matt?
Oh, I was going to say, it talks about Jim Walls did Police Quest 1, 2, and 3, and Jim Walls was a retired police officer.
Yeah, I've always wanted to talk to him.
Is he still around?
I think so.
Okay. He did. After he left Sierra, did
Oh, I think your mic's cutting out, Matt.
he did a Police Quest thing called Blue something that was a knockoff afterwards, and then I don't know if he still did game design after that. Um,
Yeah, there's a top 10 games of, I guess this is 1993 spring.
they're all Sierra games, I guess. So it's
Front page sports.
so football. And yeah, I don't know if these are sales or what the metric is.
Nothing really surprising about these. I never ever think about their football game, but I guess they had that.
They had football, they had baseball. Um, I don't think they had hockey,
I remember
football and baseball at least.
Bob Jacob was telling me that with CinemaWare it was the same deal. Like their TV sports football game was
Oh, really?
far and
Huh.
away. I mean, just blew all their other stuff out of the water.
It sold more than the Three Stooges, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like Sensible Software, same thing with their Sensible
Okay.
Soccer. Yeah.
Yeah, let's I can do like 2 more minutes. Let's go down to one more page and there's an ad for the Sierra Network game modem. Look at that.
Oh,
20 you mentioned that 2400 bauds packed in with 30 hours worth
don't
of
realize how fast
online.
2400 baud was because I mean, I think it started with like a 300 at the cheapest one, and you could basically type faster than that.
And so I mean, this is a real value modem, right? For less than $50, you get a 2400 Hayes compatible modem,
Yeah.
7 megs of hot game software. They love the word hot
Ooh, hot.
on the world's premier online games network.
Over 7 meg.
And look at all these. I mean, that you could play these many games on one online platform is again super ahead of the curve. You could do, a multiplayer version of Red Baron.
And let's look at that Eusebius game. Do you have a second? Let's just
Yeah, yeah, sure. We can do your service.
page is that?
The
Because that was
card games and things, they had different themes. The Larry Land is that 74, page 74.
because I wanted to look at this. I wanted to read this because this is one of the first basically proto MMOs,
There
right?
you go. Yes, right. Um,
We had
yeah, that
Neverwinter
was
Nights Online, and then this.
wasn't like yeah, it was more than a text-based mud um, thing.
So imagine how addictive something like Elder Scrolls is.
Sure, and this, it's noting that it's first person, right? When you're navigating the dungeons and everything, so it's a first person
Yeah, I've
CRPG.
never played this one. I'm curious. Surely there must be somebody has this hosted online somewhere.
Good question. They might have done an offline version of this, come to think. I don't quite.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, because that would make sense because this would be a big investment
It
and
looks kind of like Dungeon Master.
it looks a lot like Dungeon Master. I would say it doesn't look state of the art for the time, but maybe that's also to optimize the online play. Um,
Yeah, that's a good point because I mean, 2400 baud modem, death darts, blast, heal, true sing. I don't know. I'd like to know more about this game just out of historical curiosity.
sure, it talks about let's see, a typical adventurer's career goes through 3 or 4 broad stages as he or she searches for the ultimate challenge inside the volcano.
Yeah, and see, it says you have to team up with other people. It's too tough to survive alone. So that is,
Hmm, you're right. Yeah. So
You can imagine making friends on this and they're calling you up. Hey, get on Sierra Network.
The equivalent of doing a raid. A party made of characters who experience level is between 30 and 35 should be able to complete the final quest, albeit with difficulty. After, if you get up to the level 40, you might be able to do some quest on your own. But some quests can never be completed by a single player. They're designed to require coordinated action by different adventurers.
What do you think the ultimate secret of Eusebius is?
Um,
They're worth thousands. Oh, look, they gave a list of the items.
it even says bibbity bobbity boo in there about the magic spells you can do and
Yeah,
huh.
I'm gonna have to look this game up. I bet you there's a way to play it now.
There must be. I'm almost certain there's an offline version. Let me see if the chat said anything. Oh, it talked about Jim Walls of Space Quest or Police Quest. He's in his 80s now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be a good get. I should dig around for him. But
short list.
no, this was. I really like this idea of doing for something different, like an episode on the old magazines, because that's how we got news about games back then, was through magazines. You didn't have, or
Yes,
most people didn't have the internet, or if you did, you paid a lot for like Prodigy or CompuServe or AOL.
I
And
think this format works good. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, a lot
we
of
got a magazine in front of us so we can chat about it instead of just off the cuff, you know. I mean,
right,
we're off the cuff, but we're
the
got
guided cuff, I guess.
got the
Sure.
um, serious. Okay, folks. So you gotta run, Matt.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah,
But
let
thanks.
us
This was fun.
know what you guys and gals think about this format. If you want to see more, and if you have
Yeah,
a
go add
magazine,
stuff in the comments, and if you have ideas for games and stuff, that'd be cool too.
yeah, if there's a magazine that you
Magazine
have
or
a collection, or maybe like we talked about, a catalog might be fun too.
the catalog would be good, right? I even like a J.C. Penney's catalog, you can get mileage out of looking at the old
Yeah.
electronic boutiques, Babbage's, right? All those things.
The old Sears, what do they call it? The Wish Book.
Oh, the Christmas one, yeah.
That's
And
like
what?
$50.
But I mean, that was a big.
Oh, what's my
Um,
background? This is, I think, the Intella whatever network, right?
that is the Sierra Network,
What's
yeah.
it, what's it called again? The
I think it's the Sierra Network, TSN. Is that right? Or
TS, and but it's like Intella something.
is it Intella Imagination, something like that. But I
Im-
mean, but that was a big
Imagination Network, I think, is what it.
imagination, right? But that was a ritual back in the day, wasn't it? Where you go to the mall to buy your computer game from Babbage's, and then you'd get something from the food court, maybe a bourbon chicken or a cheesesteak or something, and you'd look over the magazine as you're eating your greasy food, and coming home and spending 2 hours installing the game and trying to get it to run properly. And
Yeah, we'd go to the mall because we lived out in the country, we go to the
right.
Conland, and then there'd be a electronics boutique was our store. But we get an Amiga World or Amazing Computing magazine from the bookstore.
Oh, sure, right. We get the
Yeah, maybe a game if we're lucky. Because, again, it's more like you just look at the games and then decide which ones you want to pirate.
sure.
Okay.
Right. Sounds good.